What is happening, YouTube? Thank you so much for tuning into another video. I do apologize for being missing for the last couple of weeks, and the reason for that is I've just been trying to practice with this Assetto Corsa Competizione game. It's completely new to me and the physics are obviously new, and I just figured there's no point putting up content where I'm not able to keep it on track properly. And yeah, so I spent some time learning and practicing, developing some setups just for the Porsche because there's so many cars on the game. I just spent some time just focusing on the Porsche, and that way I also get used to the tracks a lot quicker. What else, man? I've also learned there's a lot of rules that I'm not used to or didn't know existed, but this game most definitely made sure that I am aware of them now, and you'll actually see some of that in this race. So can't wait to get started into that. And yeah, let's just run through a little bit of qualifying. I was stuck behind Zefix over here. There's blue flags up as well, so usually the courteous thing to do is to move out the way because he's probably on an outlap, but that's just something that you'd learn over time, and I'm not sure what his stance is on the matter, but definitely something I've learned. If you're on an outlap or in lap, just move out the way for quicker drivers behind you. If you're on a hot lap and you're slower than the guy behind you, you have no obligation to move out the way. That's his problem. He should have left more space. So right now we're trying to put in a lap while also just not crashing into the back of Zefix. Also, just for future reference, I'm not going to be battering any drivers if they make mistakes or do something differently to what I do. That's just not the kind of content I want to put out. So we'll keep it positive, we'll keep it happy and fun and lighthearted. At the end of the day, it's just a game, and we're just here to have fun. Maybe before we run into the hot lap of the session, maybe just talk a little bit about the game and what I've learned so far over the last couple of weeks. It's definitely practice makes perfect, or as close to it as possible. I'm aiming to be within like at least half a second of the qualifying time of the Blancpain challenge actual drivers, and I know the sim races are going to be even faster than that, but for the minute I'm just trying to get used to all the tracks. There's a lot of learning because I haven't been on any of them before, and yeah, it's been so fun to learn the different tracks and figure out setups and what does what and that type of thing. It's been such a steep learning curve, but I'm definitely happy that I put in the hours and I've got used to everything, because the races that I've had has just been incredible. And I think that even moving over, if I ever go back to GT Sport or any other sim really, then the things that I've learnt, car control, braking, just everything has been fantastic. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump into the hot lap of the session, and yeah, let's do it. So I'm by no means quick at this track, or not as quick as I'd like to be, so I'm not going to be giving any suggestions or anything like that. It's just, this is what I do, and I know I've got a lot of time to catch up on. So turn 2, it's a really weird braking, it almost feels off camber, so just, or at least I do, just be patient and wait for the car to rotate. Turn 4 in the Porsche, I actually find it's quite nice to get down to third around that bend. Going down the long straight before the chicane, turn 5, I aim for the 100-meter board and then just slowly tip down to second, and the Porsche handles that chicane so nicely. I trying going over the chicane, but it just unsettles the car way too much. So yeah, over here you can take a lot more curb than you think, even more than what I did. And yeah, this corner over here, just lift off a little bit before you upshift and the car will rotate by itself, so you don't have to brake or anything like that. Turn 8 up ahead, it's just fun, but it's just crazy. Oh yeah, actually for that turn I dropped down to first and let go of the brakes. Trust that your car will slow down and you're able to rotate without your foot on the brakes, and you'll just turn better. It seems a little bit strange, but yeah, works for me. And yeah, that's my lap. My really horrible slow lap at Zolder for this race, this particular race. So just with regards to those squares next to the leaderboard, so some are grey, some are red. You get grey, red, white and black, and there was a post done by Andio450 on Steam, and basically he explains that the white is for pro, silver grey is for silver driver, black is for pro-am, and red is for amateur. So just so you know, in case you're interested. It's actually good to know the rating of the drivers when you are driving with them for the first time. With regards to the setup, I have no idea what I'm doing, so if you feel like following my setup, go for it. If you want me to give a more detailed explanation as to what I think I'm doing, sure. But I'm by no means qualified to be sharing information on that. I just try my best to make the setting as comfortable for me. I prefer to roll through corners instead of driving through them, so I try and have a balanced car. I know that seems it's probably what everybody wants, but some people prefer oversteer, some people prefer understeer. Me, I'm dead in the middle. Keep it balanced. So keep left, that's the goal, and then the ideal speed is 60 kilometers per hour, and you have to stay underneath that speed. It's very important. As you'll see there, I actually just got a drive-through penalty because I topped up to 60.1 kilometers per hour. And remember those rules I was talking about? That is one of them. So the learning curve is quite high. It's a strict learning curve, but I think it makes for great racing. I like the fact that if two people are in contact, both of them get a penalty, regardless of whether one of them's at fault or not. I really like the fact that there's damage. It just deters people from just being too argy-bargy. There's more patience, and the quality of driving on Assetto Corsa Competizione has been out of this world. And that's not to say that there's not accidents, there's not mistakes. There are those for sure. But it's just been so much fun, and I've left every race, or probably 95% of the races, less upset than I have when racing on other games like GT Sport. So right now my plan is to make a big enough margin as I can, but come into the pits as soon as possible so that I know what I have to work with. You can see on the right hand side there, I've got 3 laps remaining to serve my penalty, but for this race I'm going to do it right now, and then I just know how much time I need to catch up from the guys up ahead. So again, speeding in the pit lane is an absolute no-no. You could get a drive-through penalty again, or a stop-and-go penalty. So make sure you get down to 50 kilometers an hour before the 50 kilometer an hour board. So this is a drive-through penalty, and I'll stop talking so that you understand how boring it is to drive this slowly. There you have it. So exiting the Zolder is a unique experience, that's for sure. You can easily lose it, so just drop down into third and roll around turn 2. Just be patient again, as we said before, and then get back onto your normal racing line. So we come out the pits in P9. The guy up ahead also has a drive-through, so we about 17-18 seconds away from P7, so we're just going to get our heads down and chase the pack up ahead. For now, I'll leave you to the beautiful sound of the Porche GT3 2019. So Neo, or Neon Salmer, Neon, let's call him Neon, shall we? So Neon's made a mistake up ahead, and also looks like he has incredible lag or ping. So not sure if he didn't see me or anything like that, but we managed to get past, no problems, no damage, and that's the important thing. So now again, we're just going to get our head down to P6. There's 13 seconds between us at the minute, and probably a little bit more if I keep driving like that. So for Zolder, it's really about flow and just also committing. It's a really aggressive driving style needed, at least from my perspective. So just trying to find that balance between not overshooting all the corners and not oversteering, or understeering at least. It's quite a fine line for me, but enjoying the track so much. If you guys are getting the game, I'd highly recommend just playing the campaign, because you spend a lot of time driving and learning, and more so than the campaign actually is just practice. Spend time in the practice session just learning the track, try different conditions, heat it up, cool it down, cloudy. I haven't played in the rain, to be honest. Just been trying to understand the tracks, but it's a good way to up your knowledge of the tracks. So we're up into P6, and we've caught about 3 seconds to P5 up ahead. Obviously the standard of the drivers in this lobby is not pro level, so we're going to catch them a little bit quicker. I'm by no means a pro either, obviously. I've got a grey bar, not a white bar. But yeah, it makes for fun racing. This was before all the new service came up, the new ACC update came. So it was really just random who you got to race with and what tracks you got to drive on. I think they were dividing it between the safety rating, the SA. So I'm 66 over there, so that will count as a medium SA. Yeah, so this is where I got put. So we're up into P5. Logos did in the Lambo, bottled it in turn 8. So we're just gonna keep going up to Nitrix, NTX, RS. I need to get these names down, don't I? Anyway, to be fair, I really enjoy starting from further back in these grids, especially when the drivers ahead are a little bit slower. That way you have some fun, you have opportunities to overtake, and so you see those acronyms up on top, RC, SA. Those will go up if you overtake. The RC is the racecraft, and the SA is the safety rating. So touching is not allowed, rubbing is not racing in Assetto Corsa, which is cool. I like that. So both of you need to leave each other enough space. You need to understand what they can and can't do. The cars can't disappear into nothing as we'd like them to, so we need to leave enough space when going through a chicane too wide if we decide to do something crazy like that. So we picking up with E4 up ahead. I'll just skip ahead to when some racing happens again. So I actually forgot to put the names off. You have the option to take the driver names off on multiplayer. But what I do like about that is the 330 next to Nitrix's names. That's what we'll call him. It's actually referring to his ping, or at least that's what I understand it to be. So if it's high, if it's over 100, you can expect him to be a little bit slow or delayed in the responses, but just to be bouncing all over the track, kind of like he's doing right now. So with drivers with high ping, it's highly recommended that you just be extra careful, because they, as you can see over there, they can move about a meter across anyway, and they genuinely are not doing it in the seat. So I'll just be extra cautious and patient to make a safe, clean pass. Or will we? Yeah, let's see what happens. So you can see we're actually losing a lot of time behind because we are being very cautious. So we'll try and get past as safely and quickly as possible.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Yeah.
Yellow flag, be careful.
So not really sure again what happened over there. I was taking the inside line and he went really wide, but definitely just think that was a lag situation. Is there anything I could have done to prevent that? Yeah, I probably could have just tapped off the throttle a little bit, but to be honest, I wasn't sure if he was actually going to be there or not. So I suppose an apology is in order. I apologize, Nitrix, for being there, but yeah, is what it is. So everybody seems to be throwing away their positions at the moment. We're up to P4 and P3 is right up ahead. Can you imagine? We've gone from P9 to potentially P3 up ahead. Let's see if anything interesting can happen between the Ferrari and the Porsche. So the 458, sorry, is an incredible car. One of my favorite sim racers, David Perel. He races for Rinaldi Racing, and watching him race in the Ferrari has just been inspiring, to be honest. It's the reason I got this game, and I've learned a lot. So P3 just overshoots the corner and we just drive straight by. It was definitely a lot easier than I hoped for it to be. Anyway, back to David Perel. I've learned a lot from his driving style, his commitment, and just little tidbits of knowledge that he's dropped off. Recently I've been watching Jodier, and he's also an incredible sim racer, really fast, and the kind of things that he does and says and his racing style, I don't think we race in a very similar way, but his approach to attacking and defending, I'd say, is similar, as we almost get torpedoed by the Ferrari behind us. So yeah, what he likes to do and what I like to do is just lean on the drivers up ahead. Show them that you're there. Show them on both sides of the mirror that you're there. Get really close and show that if you're going to overshoot the corner, that gap's going to open up and you're going to be there to take it. And some people can't manage that pressure. I know for me personally, I enjoy it. Sometimes if sort of you're racing for P1, it's a little bit different, so you try and be extra careful and make more mistakes, but it's so fun when things are that exciting and that nerve-wracking. It's very different to other racing games that I've played before. So we had a gap of 10 seconds. I've just skipped over to the last lap. We had 4 minutes of racing, and this is the last lap. We've closed the gap to 6 seconds, I think it is, to DNB Badger up ahead in the Audi, but we just don't have enough laps to catch him. So unless he makes a mistake, it's going to be a P3 podium for us, and considering where we came from, that's really not bad. But it would have been fun to race up with the guys up ahead. It seems like they're a little bit more similarly paced, and that makes for exciting racing. So before we get to the end, I'll just leave the Porsche's amazing sound one more time. I really love it. Just the sound of Assetto Corsa Competizione is out of this world. So I'll keep quiet and leave the Porsche to say the rest.
finish the race. P3, we're on the podium. Excellent job, mate.
Crew chief is happy with that result, but we're not going to be satisfied with that, obviously. We had a P1 in the bag and we threw it away, to be fair. So something that I'm trying to work on is donuts after the race and not crashing into oncoming traffic. But something to keep in mind is if you have a collision with somebody after the race, that still has a negative impact on your safety rating, your SA. So if that's something that you're worried about, try not to have any collisions after the race and you'll be good to go. Anyway guys, thank you very much for tuning into another video. It's always a pleasure to make them. I really enjoy doing these. If you like the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.